Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chelsea, and if you are new here, I am a first-time mom to a 1-month-old baby boy named Bradley, who I'm going to try to film this video while he's sleeping. I have been doing this mom thing for now, to be exact, 1 month and 3 days, and there are so many products that we could not have done without in these first few weeks of his life. I've seen all the videos of must-haves for newborns and nice to have for newborns, but these are things that we literally use every single day, and I truly don't know how I would have done without them. So if you're interested to see what I think is essential for the very first weeks of parenthood, just keep on watching. So I've got my handy dandy notes here on my phone. I'm going to start with feeding. As any parent will tell you, the only things that you absolutely have to have for having a baby is somewhere for them to sleep and something for them to eat and a whole lot of love. So with feeding for us, I intended to exclusively breastfeed. That was always my intention, and it just didn't work out for us. We weren't really compatible in that way, and it did break my heart a little bit, and I was made to feel like that was the only way in the hospital. I asked for formula in the hospital and was told no, just to keep trying the breast. And so when we got home, the very first thing that we did after we got settled, he woke up, he was hungry. I tried the breast. Nothing was helping. I told my husband to go downstairs and make him a bottle. So the first things on my list that we literally could not have made it through that first night without are our bottles and formula. My milk had not come in yet, so I couldn't really pump anything out to give Bradley, but I knew that he was hungry. And luckily, and this video is not sponsored by anyone, but I wish Similac would sponsor me because they get a lot of our money. But Similac had sent us 2 samples of formula, and I sent Thomas downstairs to make a bottle. So the very first thing on my list that I would tell you, even if you plan to breastfeed, it might be worth it to just have some in the house, is a can of formula. We use the Similac Pro Total Comfort just because that's in the sleep deprived stupor we were in, that's the first thing that Thomas grabbed. They sent us 2 different kinds, and that's the one we started with. And we've tried other formulas that have not sat very well with Bradley, so we are back to using the Similac Pro Total Comfort. It's the one with the purple lid. But any kind of formula, just have some formula on hand to feed your baby if they're hungry and nothing else is working. I would have had to send him somewhere that was open 24 hours at 1 in the morning if we hadn't had that formula sample. So formula, number 1. Number 2 is something to put the formula or expressed breast milk in, and that is obviously a bottle. We are partial to the Tommy Tippy Closer to Nature bottles, mostly because, if I'm being totally honest, because it's 3 parts to clean: a nipple, a ring, and a bottle. That's it. There's a little valve in the nipple that allows for air to come out. So it's not technically their anti-colic bottle, which we do have one of, but again, that's way more parts to clean, and Bradley doesn't really seem to show any preference towards an anti-colic bottle or not. We have used, like I said, the Tommy Tippy anti-colic bottle with like the straw in it, and we have used a Dr. Brown's bottle, and he spit up just as much with those bottles as he does with the Tommy Tippies. So I personally think the less parts to clean, the better, because with a bottle fed baby, we're cleaning 8 bottles a day, and the more of a quick in and out of the sink that you can get with those bottles, the better. So 3 parts, easy to clean. He seems to like the nipple on the bottle just fine, and it's been a winner in our book. So those are the first 2 things that you definitely have to have. And along with bottle feeding, I have to say We have the Boone Lawn, which is the large version of the grass drying rack, and several of the sprig accessories that you can hang parts on. And that has been a game changer as well, just having somewhere large to put the bottles. And because you're not setting it down directly on a surface, you're setting them on those little grass sprigs, the water can drain out better and there's no condensation left in the bottle. So we have loved the Boone Lawn as well as their bottle brush cleaning set. It looks like little cactuses, and I'll insert some pictures in here, but they're cute, they're extremely functional. It's the right size, the handle on it's very ergonomic for cleaning the bottles. It's not too long, not too short. It's fantastic, and I definitely recommend it. Additionally, I went back and forth on a bottle warmer. I actually didn't even register for a bottle warmer, and finally, after a couple nights of trekking up and down the stairs to heat up water to make the bottle warm in, we decided that it was worth it to just order a bottle warmer. So we ordered the Tommy Tippy bottle warmer. I'm not sure of the exact name of it. It's something like the Quick and Easy or whatever, but 4 to 5 minutes depending on how big the bottle is, and we have a nice warm bottle for Bradley. He will drink formula at room temperature, but when I have a pumped breast milk bottle that needs to be warmed up out of the fridge, I'm not going to give him a fridge cold bottle. And even though he will take a room temperature bottle, a warmer bottle seems to be easier on his tummy. So we love the bottle warmer. It was, I think, $25 on Amazon, and it was worth every single penny that we paid and then some. So those are our feeding essentials. Just trust me, you might need some of them. So once baby is fed and happy, it's time for sleep, and we only have a few sleep essentials that I'll talk about. There are 4 that I consider must-haves in this house. Number 1 is a sound machine. We have the Hatch Baby Rest sound machine, and I have really enjoyed it. I think Bradley really enjoys it, but any sound machine will work. The womb is a very loud environment. It's not super quiet like we adults are used to sleeping in. He is used to the sound of my heartbeat and the blood rushing around inside of my body. So the sound machine really helps to lull him back to sleep and recreate that womb-like environment. So we have the Hatch Baby Rest. It is a smart device that I can control from my phone. It has a night light feature, which we currently don't use. We try to keep the room as dark as possible when he's sleeping, but you can choose from lots of different sounds. I personally like the regular static white noise and their washing machine sound. It just is a nice rumbling background noise, and he seems to like it as well. I swear when I put him down for his first stretch of nighttime sleep, when I turn on the sound machine, I can see him getting drowsy. Maybe it's in my head, but hey, what works, works, right? We also use muslin swaddle blankets for Bradley. He has never ever liked to be swaddled with his arms down by his side. I mean, since the very beginning in ultrasound pictures, his hands would be right here by his face. So he likes to sleep that way. He's sleeping with his hands over his head right now across the room from me. And I tried the whole, swaddle them tight with their arms by their sides, what all the experts tell you to do. And he never liked it, so I stopped even trying. I swaddle under his armpits with his arms out, and we use a muslin swaddle blanket. My favorites have been the ones from Target, the Cloud Island brand. They're extremely affordable, they're big, and they're very soft to the touch. And muslin swaddle blankets have just a little bit of stretch to them, so you can get them nice and tight, but they're made of cotton, so they're very breathable. We do have the copper pearl stretchy swaddles, which I used for a little bit when he was brand new, and now still I'll use to like drape over him if he's sleeping during the day and I'm right there with him. We also tried the Velcro swaddles, which they were okay, but they're harder to get the arms out swaddle that we like to do. And as far as the arms out goes, he really doesn't wake himself up with the startle reflex. I guess we're just extremely lucky in that way, but I would rather risk him startling himself awake than him lay there screaming because his arms are by his side and him never fall asleep. So it's worth the arms out for me. The third thing that I recommend is the Owlet Smart Sock baby monitor. If you're not familiar, it goes on their foot and it monitors their pulse ox as well as their heart rate. So if it gets below, either one of those parameters gets below a set number, the base station will go off red and alarm to wake you up and let you know that you need to go check on the baby right now. And luckily, we used it for the first time last night, and that did not happen, of course, but I just knew when I was pregnant that I wasn't gonna need this. It's an expensive gadget. We actually got ours secondhand, but I didn't want to buy one because I was like, surely I won't be that anxious. I am absolutely that anxious. I would get up and check on him multiple times throughout the night, sometimes only a few minutes apart, just to make sure that he was still breathing. Of course, he was fine. He was just a perfectly content sleeping baby, but my anxiety just couldn't handle it. And the thought of him being in his own room away from me without me being able to turn on a light and look at him and make sure he's still breathing was just too much for me. So we went ahead and got the Owlet Smart Sock. Like I said, we've only used it one night so far, but it really eased my anxiety. So I recommend it. The last sleep thing that I will say has been a game changer for us is the Boppy Lounger pillow. And if there was one item on this list, other than, like I said, formula and bottles, those were a must for us. This lounger is my ride or die. I don't have a particularly snuggly baby. He likes to snuggle on his own terms, but a lot of the time, especially if he's napping during the day, he's not big on contact napping. He wants me to put him down on his lounger and he'll sleep. That's where he is right now. And this Boppy Lounger will absolutely be my go-to baby shower gift from now until the end of eternity. It has been, when he was a newborn, it was the best place for us to just put him down for when he was sleeping, which newborns do literally all the time. And now that he's a few weeks older, he will nap during the day in it, and he's just comfortable and content there. So we've started taking it upstairs with us at night, and then in the mornings when he wakes up after his 6 a.m. feed, if we're still hanging out in bed and just kind of scrolling on Facebook or watching TV or something, not really ready to start our day at 6 o'clock in the morning because Thomas is still on leave and I'm still freshly postpartum and recovering, so we're taking our days a little easier. We will put the lounger in between us in bed and put him on that. So we're not getting up 15 times playing passy pong to put his pacifier back in his mouth when he spits it out and then screams because he wants it back. So it's really just been the best place to have a dock for the baby. I know that the Boppy Lounger, the Snuggle Me Organic, the Dock-A-Tot are all things that are not recommended for unsupervised sleep. So of course we're always supervising him when he is in it, but it's been fantastic. So he's almost too big for it now. I'm looking at him across the room and his little feet are hanging over the bottom edge and his head's towards the top. So I might have to look into getting me something a little bit bigger like the Snuggle Me Organic as he grows out of this, because I don't know what we're gonna do without it. I guess I could be a grown-up mom and put him in his crib for naps, but I like having him right here with me. If I'm gonna be home with him, I wanna be with him as much as I can, especially in these new days. So those are our 4 sleep must-haves, and I'm telling you, they may be few, but they are mighty. Of course, a baby also needs clothes. We have obviously a wintertime baby. He was born at the beginning of February, and it actually snowed the weekend after he was born, which we're in Georgia. It doesn't really happen even in the winter. Not every year. We don't always get snow. So it is a colder season right now, and I am aware that newborns don't have the best circulation and they don't regulate their own body temp as well as an adult. So we do have him in mostly cotton footy sleepers all the time. I call them zippy sleepies and snappy sleepies because he seems to think that's funny. But we don't have a preference. We like the zipper sleepers and we like this ones with the snaps. I don't mind unsnapping him to do his diaper changes in the middle of the night and just snapping him back up really quick. For me, the biggest thing is something that you can unsnap or zip up from the bottom, and you don't have to unsnap their whole up to their chest and take their arms out of something. So for us, I think all of the sleepers we have are from Target. We were not anticipating having an itty bitty baby. So my dad actually went to Target the first weekend we were home and got pretty much every sleeper that they had in the store in newborn size. We had barely any newborn clothes and no newborn sleepers. So he got those and brought them, and they have just been in our washing machine on a rotation ever since. We're in 0 to 3 month clothes now, so we've got a few more options, but the sleepers that we have are still my go-tos. He's currently wearing a Cloud Island 0 to 3 month footed sleeper. It does zip up from the bottom upwards, which is fantastic for diaper changes. I have a baby that likes to be naked, just in a diaper, but he doesn't like the process of getting there. So if he's already dressed and I'm changing him, especially in the middle of the night, I want something that I'm going to have to unzip and undo as little as possible, not because I'm sleep deprived, but because he will scream if I have to get him naked and there's air on his chest. He just doesn't like it, which I understand. If I was cozy and swaddled up and happy, I wouldn't want to be undressed all the way either. For me personally, and maybe it would be different if I had a girl, boy clothes are not as fun to like dress up and be frilly and cute. He's adorable in a footed sleeper as it is, but I have just now gotten comfortable putting things over his head. So that means for us, onesies and things that I need to physically pull over his big old newborn head are not a newborn essential. I have just gotten comfortable doing that on my own without the help of Thomas holding him or me holding him and the other one putting the clothes on. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, onesies, I would skip them in newborn sizes altogether because newborns are so floppy and they're so agitated about getting dressed and the whole process of it, and it's very difficult to get their little arms in a onesie after you've pulled it down over their head, and then you gotta fish their arms up and through, and it's not worth it. So I would say skip onesies and get the zip up or snap up sleepers. Either one's gonna be great. And also a quick PSA, I know this is my must-haves video, but I'm gonna let you in on a little clothing secret that they don't tell you, and it's going to be part of my parenting tips that no one tells you and you just have to figure out video. You don't need a ton of hats. Even if you have a winter baby like mine, I spent hours Googling this, that, and the third, and one thing was that my baby always seemed so hot and his head was always so hot when I would take his hat off. Come to find out, hats are not recommended once you get home from the hospital. Newborns regulate a lot of their heat through their head, so it was commonly thought that you need a hat to keep the heat in and to keep them warm, but that is simply not the case. As long as their body and their torso is good and covered, they're good. And hats on make more cradle cap, typically speaking, because you're trapping everything in against their head, and hats are really not safe for sleep because they're considered a loose object. How many times have you seen a baby with their hat either coming halfway off their head or it slipped down over their eyes? For me, every time I would look at him in his cradle in the middle of the night, his hat was down over his eyes, dangerously close to his nose. So it's really not safe to sleep with. They really don't need them in a climate controlled environment like your home. I say skip newborn size hats altogether, unless you just want some cute ones for pictures at the hospital. Along those lines, we have some mittens that we haven't used. You don't really need those either. Yes, he has scratched his face a couple times, but most sleepers come with fold over mittens on the hands, and if you really want to, you can use those. So those are my two you don't need them items mixed into my must-haves. But to recap, in the tiny, tiny days, sleepers, footed sleepers. In the health and wellness category of things you absolutely need to have on hand when you have a new baby, at the top of that list for me is gas drops and gripe water. I don't know what we would do without gas drops and gripe water especially. But in the very early days when I was kind of wary of using gripe water, since it does say 2 weeks and up on the bottle, we did use the Mylicon gas drops. We used the Little Remedies brand. I'm sure any brand will work, but we had a baby who was really dealing with some reflux. He would spit up a lot. He was projectile vomiting for a little while, and we did figure out that the formula we were using was just not gentle enough for his tummy. Since we've gone back to the Similac Pro Total Comfort that I mentioned earlier, a lot of that has gone away. I don't think he spit up even once today, which is fantastic. But the gas drops really seem to soothe his belly, and now that we're using the gripe water when he gets super uncontrollably fussy and we can't soothe him, it makes him better immediately. So definitely keep those on hand, because your sanity is worth it too. I can't sit and listen to my baby scream for, honestly, I can't listen to him scream for even 10 minutes. I know that there's a lot of controversy and divided opinions on whether just letting a baby cry is okay. I'm sure it's fine for him developmentally to cry and learn to self-soothe, but in these brand new days, I just can't listen to him be upset. So definitely gas drops and gripe water, if for nothing else than to make them a little more comfortable. Along those lines, and this is something I never ever thought I would say, you need a nose Frida. Yes, it is the thing that you use to physically suck snot out of your baby's mouth, but out of his nose rather, using your mouth. But there's a filter. You're not gonna get snot anywhere near your mouth. And when the bulb syringe wouldn't work and I couldn't get to the booger, baby nostrils are tiny, and I needed a little help, and I had a nose Frida. You just take a couple saline drops and put them in their nose. And honestly, he hated that part the most. He does not like the saline drops, but once I got the nose Frida snot sucker in place, he was fine. I didn't have to hold him down or anything. I got it out and he could breathe. You need a snot sucker. It will make your life so much easier. It will make you feel so much better. We also use a baby bathtub. I know a lot of people just use the adult size tub or get in the tub with their baby. We have a baby that does not like bath time. And I know a lot of babies don't like bath time. So ours just, he'll scream and scream and scream until he's so worked up that it takes a minute to calm him down, even after we've removed him from the bath situation. So what we do now is we will put him in the tub in a little sling in the baby bathtub. We don't fill it up with water, and we're doing like a modified sponge bath with an active rinsing off after we're done bathing him. And we just use the baby bathtub to catch the rinse water as we're rinsing him off. And that seems to work really well. So I will say that you need a baby bathtub just because it makes it so much more comfortable for them. It's more comfortable for you. We can put it up on our bathroom counter and not have to kill our backs leaning over to get to him in the bath. It's been really great. We also really like the baby hooded towels. They are extremely cute, and they, you know, make the baby look cute after bath time if your baby's not screaming and just wanting to be dressed like mine is. But I like them because they're the appropriate size. They're very, very soft. They've got the little hood that you can put their head in and get their head dry quickly. And they're just cozy to them, I feel like, especially if you put them in the dryer right before you use them. And even if you don't feel like you need the hooded baby bath towels, I think baby washcloths are a must. I use 2 baby washcloths for every bath time. One to get wet in warm water and put it over his torso to make him a little more comfortable and make sure he's still warm, and the other one I use to actively bathe him with. We also have a little Munchkin silicone pitcher thing that I use to scoop water up to rinse him off with, and that's really handy so you're not fumbling around for a cup. It's just right there with your bath time stuff, and it makes bath time a whole lot easier. I can't speak to a certain kind of baby bath wash that I like the best. We're currently using Aveeno baby bath wash and shampoo combined in one thing. It's just the first one I grabbed. We were gifted a lot of different kinds, and I grabbed that one first for the first bath time, and it works great. He smells good afterwards, and it's nice. I don't know anything to compare it to, but it's been good, and I think it's pretty affordable. The only other thing that I will say for baby health and wellness, this category would be, obviously you need diapers and wipes. I considered using cloth diapers for a while, and now seeing what his diaper situation looks like, I'm so glad that I didn't. Mad props to all of you mamas that do cloth diapering. I don't know how you do it, but I will say that in the newborn stage, we used Pampers. That was the only newborn diaper I liked. We had some Huggies from the hospital, did not care for them. But now that we've gone up a size, we are using the Kirkland brand size 1 diapers, which are Huggies with the Costco brand name on them. And I gotta say, I don't hate them. Huggies and the Kirkland brand have like elastic in the back of the waistband, so you can really wrap it around them for a snugger fit, whereas Pampers is flat on the front and back. So that's something to think about. It all just depends on your baby and the shape of your baby and what fits them the best. So currently at size 1, especially when he's got a full belly, I like the fit of the Kirkland / Huggies brand size 1 diapers. The Pampers are fine too. But I will say I am a 100% Pampers wipe mama. The other wipes are crap. The Pampers wipes are where they're at. So that's my must-haves for baby health and wellness. My final category is just some miscellaneous items that I feel like are worth the purchase or worth putting on your registry that have just really helped us. And he's starting to wake up, so let me get through this quickly. The first thing on my list is receiving blankets. These are, you know, like the hospital blankets that you get at birth. You can buy them from the store as well. They're usually like a baby flannel, and I love them as burp cloths. I have regular, like the rectangular burp cloths that you just throw over your shoulder, and those are fine. They do the job, and I actually think my husband prefers them because they sit on his shoulder really well, but they slide right off my shoulders. So I like to take one of the receiving blankets and open it most of the way up and drape it all the way over my back and front, and it really protects you from spit up and projectile vomit, which is a concern in this household. You never know what you're gonna get with him after he eats and he's burping. So receiving blankets in lieu of burp cloths have my vote for sure. I also think bibs are a good idea, even at the young ages, especially the bandana bibs. They seem to fit better on a smaller baby. We've just gotten big enough for the regular traditional style bibs. And again, I have a spitter for a baby, so having a bib can save you an outfit change sometimes, even when you don't have a baby that's teething. It never occurred to me that babies need bibs before they're eating solids or before they're teething, because I thought that's what bibs were for, was to catch drool and, you know, to catch food that's coming out of their mouth. But they're really good for saving an outfit if you've got a baby that pukes a lot, which we do. So get you some bibs, mama. Also, in our home, we do have a 2-story house, so I will say another recommendation is, if you do a lot of your daytime living downstairs and your bedrooms are upstairs, you're going to want to have 2 changing stations. And for us, that looks like 2 changing pads, one in his nursery and one down here in our living room. And both of those areas are fully stocked with diapers, wipes, bibs, the receiving blankets as burp cloths, all of the stuff. I have an extra outfit down here so I'm not trekking up and down the stairs all day, and it just makes life a whole lot easier. We also have a bouncy seat and a swing. I keep the swing downstairs and the bouncy seat upstairs. That way we have somewhere to put him when he's getting fussy but it's not quite time to eat, or if he just needs a change of scenery, we'll put him in one of those 2 objects, and he seems to like them both equally. I also have pacifiers upstairs and downstairs. One thing that I'm really glad that we did was we offered him all different kinds of pacifiers and all different kinds of bottles when he was just a week or so old, and that really helped to eliminate any of the nipple confusion you hear about. He's not attached to one type of pacifier, so I don't have to make sure I've got the pacifier everywhere. We just keep a couple in every different room. That way we're not running back and forth for one all the time. And he's getting upset. I'm gonna have to go get him in a minute. But I will also say the last 2 things on my list are things that deal with travel. Go ahead and get a jogging stroller. If you plan on being on any terrain at all, you're gonna want a jogging stroller. For us, even the sidewalks in our neighborhood, a jogging stroller is better. So just go ahead and do it. And for moments like right now, you're also gonna want some kind of baby carrier, whether it be a wrap or a structured baby carrier. Go ahead and get one. They really love being worn. I've never seen a baby that doesn't like to be worn. So let me go get my baby. So here's Bradley, and he woke up just in time to end the video with me. Those are our must-haves for surviving the first few weeks with a newborn. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you will subscribe so you never miss a video. And now we need a diaper. Bye.